I made this drawing back in 2011 when I was fresh out of college and still figuring out how to have an art career. I remember doing a lot of illustrations like this, but I'm not feeling satisfied because for some reason, I know there's something wrong but I can't put my finger on it. So as a gift for my younger self, we're going to analyze this drawing and figure out how we can improve this. Upon initial inspection, one of the main issues I see is foreshortening, which is fair because foreshortening is hard, y'all. So let's study this by drawing over some basic shapes. You know what? I'm gonna try the pose myself. Hang on, let me grab something long to represent as the staff. There we go. Ouch, ow, ow, ouch, ouch. I'm feeling some pressure on my waist area because I'm trying to twist my body so it's showing to the camera. If I try this pose from another camera angle, it does look weird, doesn't it? Typically, when you're holding a long staff like this, pointing towards a target, your body will be facing to the side like this so that your arms can move better. I think I remember struggling to draw twist on the bodies when I was still figuring things out. Somehow, I keep forcing the body to face the front. One crucial mistake that I made back then was being stubborn and trying to draw it from imagination. The thing with our imagination is that we can picture it in our head, but once we try to put it on paper, everything becomes jarring somehow. Over the years, I learned that it's important to look for references if needed. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or professional. Always look for references. Even the studios I've worked in the past encourage us to look for references so that our drawings and animation look good because we're working for clients. In order to fix this drawing, let's go search for images of people holding a staff or a spear. The downside of just searching images on the internet is sometimes it's a struggle to find the camera angle we're looking for. But don't worry, another thing we can do is grab one of these pose dolls and pose it the way we need it, like so. If you want a more comprehensive guide on how to use these, click the eye icon on the top right of the screen or check the description for the links. Okay, so I went in and took some photos of the doll. I tried to make the camera angle similar to the drawing, and I also tried some other angles as well. Out of all the angles I took, I like this one the most, so let's go with this. With the new canvas, let's draw the construction first, following this reference as close as we can. Now, you can argue with me all you want here, but I am against tracing. It doesn't help you improve your drawing. So save your comments because nothing will convince me otherwise. Besides, I modified my drawing a bit by leaning the body a bit forward because it's more convincing as a battle stance that way. Compared to the old drawing, instead of making the left arm straight, I bent the elbows because it's more convenient to hold the staff that way than whatever it is I was thinking there. One tip I can give you is that even though some parts are hidden, draw it anyway instead of just guessing. Like for example, here the upper left arm is hidden because of her head. I still drew that so I can position the left forearm properly. Same goes for the left thigh. Let's plan how the clothing would wrap around the body. Remember, volume, volume, volume. Especially by the arms, like if you notice in the old sketch, I drew her bracelet fingers in a straight line which made it look like her wrist is made of cardboard. Also, if you notice, I was clearly struggling to draw the hand, so I just ended up drawing it flat like this, but thanks to the reference, I can visualize more clearly how I should apply foreshortening. If you want to learn how to draw foreshortened hands, I have created a video that you can watch by checking the links in the description. Okay, let's do the tie down now. This character is one of my old characters from back when I was in college. I'd say she's a reflection of myself back then. Just more emo because I'm a miserable child. Her clothing is inspired by those ancient Chinese outfits with loose sleeves. Though in this drawing, I added some kind of tie around her shoulder so that the sleeves don't get in the way when she's fighting. She's a mage and she uses this long staff with ribbons wrapping around it as her main weapon, and the only magic she knows is fire. So that we can have a close comparison, I won't color this. However, if you like me to add color, let me know in the comments. I'll be resuming live streaming soon, so I'd be happy to do it live. Anyway, for this drawing, I will just ink it and just do some hatching to add depth. In the old drawing, I only used diagonal lines in one direction, which adds to the flatness of the entire drawing. So for this remake, I made sure to be mindful of the direction of the lines and make it conform to the volume so it looks more 3D. You don't really need to do the hatching in straight lines. You can curve them to add depth. Alright, here's the finished drawing. What do you guys think? Should we have a side-by-side comparison? I think we should. It's amazing how simply looking at references can immensely help you level up your drawing, but I can understand that you don't have access to a post doll like bodycon or body chat. If that's the case, what I would do is pose myself in front of a mirror. The other thing you can do, and you will be surprised to know this, but you can draw a stickman, but not exactly the stickman you drew when you were a child. If you click this video right here, I will explain to you how it works, and trust me, it is a game changer.